What is happening, everybody? I hope you're all well, and welcome on back to Dragon Age Inquisition. As always, if you're new here or haven't yet, please do subscribe, and if you want to catch up on the rest of the Let's Play so far, go ahead and check the description below. I'll have the whole playlist down there in order for you guys. So, quick things to update before we hop into the episode. I did recraft some stuff in the in-between. I farmed some stuff up, so now we have our chestplate here, has 21 cunning, which is great for crit chance. 8% magical defense, 5% melee defense, and 20% range defense. So those pesky archers are not going to fry us anymore from the sidelines. We got that with the arms and leg attachments. I went ahead and crafted some more of that stuff. You want a quick little overview of our character here at this point, we can go to attributes. So we have 21 dex, 40 cunning. And if you want to know what that translates to, if we keep on scrolling down here, we can see all of our statistics. So we have a 5% buff to attack. We don't have much guard damage. Well, we have no guard damage, armor pen, or barrier damage bonus, but we are currently doing 66% bonus critical damage and 65% crit chance. Last episode, we were probably around the 50s, but with 21 extra cunning, I think that really made the difference. Eventually, I want this to be 100. The crit kind of relies on you hitting every single shot as a critical, because it just feeds your cooldowns automatically. We had a 25% flanking damage bonus, and our defenses right now are 35% range defense, 5 melee defense, and 8% magic. So whatever number we get hit by, this is taken off that number, which the ranged one is really good. We have no magical resistances, but this is something that I will put on in the moment, right? If I know we're about to fight a electric using enemy, then I'll go and put on like a belt of electricity resistance or something. The only other thing worthy of note in here is I added some more trials to try and even it up a little bit. So we have the enemies of the Inquisition may have new traits and abilities in combat. This makes everything way harder. They have more damage abilities, they have more damage resistance, etc, etc. And then I put on Grizzly End, which makes bears into scorpion tanks from Halo. So that should be fun. I'm excited to run into our first bear now that I put that on. But that should make things a little more spicy. We should be able to run into some more chaotic moments that'll present a challenge to us. I think that all of our advisors finished doing what they were doing. That one's just gold, so we don't have to worry too much about that. Your worship, I trust these goods will serve you or your Inquisition. We remain at your service. Ivor of the Blades. We got a Grey Warden. Male piece of armor. Interesting. I guess they offed a Warden, or at least stole from them. That makes me even more glad that I killed their old leader. So, investigate the strange chalk markings. Posts set up along the Imperial Highway, ostensibly to guard trade routes and facilitate procuring supplies for the Inquisition. Eyes on all approaches. Fourth night. A caravan carrying refugees makes camp nearby for protection. After midnight, a young woman on crutches makes small talk with patrol guard. After he passes, she crouches and makes the mark on a tent post. The woman pretends for half an hour to know nothing. When it becomes clear the ruse will not work, she kisses an Andrastian locket and says, "Glory to those across the seas." She dies. The locket was poison. But whatever that is. Glory to those across the seas. And then she just offed herself. Well, that didn't quite go how I would have liked it to, and now we can't investigate because our only lead is dead. And they will obviously know that she offed herself because she was caught, which means in the future they'll probably be way more careful. Maybe that was a mistake to send Liliana. I thought her people would know better than to leave her with a locket or something that could potentially poison themselves. Part of a Ben Hasrath report noting the current fight for succession in Leeds, which has been without a direct ruler since Duke Ramak died early in the Orlesian Civil War. The duchy will go to one of 3 members of the dead Duke's family, all of whom have possible claims to the position due to the complex nature of Orlesian politics. His cousin Carolina, already a duchess by marriage, his daughter Monette, whose claim is muddied by her youthful naivete and the fact that her father pushed her into a life of service to the Chantry after his wife's death, likely to protect her from the danger of the game, and his brother Jean Gaspard, an ambitious and cunning man who has been searching for power. Carolina is capable and not overly invested in overseeing Leeds personally. Monette would be the most easily manipulated, but less likely to be useful. Jean Gaspard would be difficult to manipulate and could present a threat if he succeeds as a brother. Any of the 3 candidates could become a valuable ally to the Inquisition, but the other 2 must be removed from play first. Monette would do better in the Chantry than in the game. I can see that she is encouraged to take vows. Jean Gaspard is a chevalier and a capable military leader. If we want him removed, I dare say we might recruit him for ourselves. I think the good play off rip would be to recruit the very good military man into the Inquisition. For things like that, you want the one that you can still control, but that can also still be useful, right? Manette is a pushover. She'll be manipulated by everybody else and won't really be able to do anything for us. Gaspard has a lot of ambition and would likely use us just the same as we would use him. And then eventually that will lead to him either stabbing us in the back or making plays for power that puts him beyond our reach eventually. Carolina, she's the middle ground, right? She'll probably be okay with us being in charge. We'll offer her some protection. We'll scratch each other's backs, and then she still has enough wit about her to be useful. And the Inquisition also gains a military asset from Jean Gaspard. So Carolina is obviously the easy option though, I think. And then before we head back to the Storm Coast to start clearing up what's left over there, see if we can have a little chit chat with Iron Bull.
What can I do for you? I'd like to know more about the Qunari.
You writing a book?
Maybe.
What I've heard about them sounds fascinating.
What you've heard was mostly horse shit. All right. What do you want to know?
I'm sure it actually was, though. But we met one in Dragon Age Origins, right? I learned a lot about them through Stern.
How do the Qunari rule themselves?
It's pretty simple. We've got the matriarchy, the priesthood, and the military. The priesthood figures out how Qunari should live in theory. The matriarchy makes it work in practice. And the military keeps the Qunari safe from outside threats.
Does it actually work like that? Is there much infighting?
Not like you're thinking of. People disagree, yeah, but the priests are there to solve disagreements. Here in Orlais, politicking comes from people putting their own gain ahead of the gains of society. If you do that among the Qunari, the Ben Hasrath set you straight, or kill you.
Like I said, for the Qunari, every breath is in service of the Qunari. There's nothing... There is no ambiguity to your destiny in the Qunari. You are assigned a profession based on your childhood merits and what they think you'll be good at. Like Iron Bull, right? Probably a big stocky guy as a kid. Like to fight, little bullheaded, so they recruited him for the military. But others, if they don't show any prowess in that, then they'll be recruited to be merchants, or etc, etc. But it all feeds into the cog that is the Qunari.
I heard there's no marriage among the Qunari.
Yeah, that's true. Qunari love our friends like anyone does, but we don't have sex with them.
Qunari don't have sex?
Oh, we definitely have sex. They're Tamasrans who pop your cork whenever you need it.
Seriously?
Yes. It's not a big deal like it is here. It's like, I don't know, going to see a healer. Sometimes it's this long, involved thing. It takes all day, leaves you walking funny. Other times you're in and out in 5 minutes. Thank you. See you next week.
So basically, to avoid them all chasing each other around the battlefield trying to get some, they just have hookers. But it's a societal thing where you just go for a little quick 1-2, which probably means that they don't mate for love or any of that stuff. They probably have breeders, right? Specific Qunari women that get pregnant and give birth to the next lot, I imagine.
I could work with that.
I know, right? No drama. Still, it's more fun here. Fewer rituals, more making it up as you go along. Plus, you folk have redheads. Redheads.
No red-headed Qunari women.
How is everyday life different for Qunari?
Depends on your job, I guess. Some are just about the same. A baker in Val Royeaux gets up, gets dressed, and starts work. A baker in Parvolan does the same thing. They don't care about the Empire or the Q. Mostly they worry about breaking eggs and hope the dough rises right.
It can't be exactly the same. The Qunari have no personal freedoms.
How many personal freedoms do you figure that baker in Val Royeaux has? Life isn't about freedom. The baker in Parvolan wonders if she'll be given enough eggs to do her work. Will they come on time? Will the kitchen workers get her bread while it's fresh, or will they come late and blame her 'cause it's stale? Same crap in Val Royale. People are just people.
The only difference being is that we talked to Sten about this in Origins too. The difference being is that a baker in the Qunari in Parbolin doesn't worry about becoming anything else or rising above whatever his perceived station would be. Whereas in the rest of the free world, you can have ambitions. So, right, a baker could aspire to become a noble. Not possible in Parbolin.
What's it like growing up under the Qun?
The Templars raise us in these units of kids all our own age. They're like teachers or chantry sisters. They also help figure out what jobs we should do. They had me pegged for military work early on. When they learned I could hit stuff and lie, they started training me for the Ben Hasra.
And you'll notice he used the same word there, Templars. Templars were also the hookers who pop your cork when you need. So they have women established in their society that raise the kids, weed them out, pick who goes where, and then when you get older and you have other interests, they'll take care of that for you too.
It must have been a good day for you.
Yes, it's like being a block of stone with a sculptor working on you. One day, the last of the crap gets knocked off, and you can see your real shape. What you're supposed to be. That's a good day.
It's like I've been saying over the course of this franchise, is that you can see the appeal to the Qunari, right? It's all a sense of purpose. It's a sense of destiny. You are what you are supposed to be. There is nothing else. This is your purpose. This is what you will be good at. This is what you will do. And it's all beneficial. You feel like you have cause and purpose and reward for doing what you do. And you can see how all those people in the Alien Age in Kirkwall decided to convert to that, right? The lesser and the have-nots would flock to the Qunari and the Qun like flies around shit.
Do you ever think about what would happen if the Qunari conquered Orlais or Eldon?
Some folks, like Cassandra or Cullen, would do fine if they didn't die fighting. Those two love rules. But the mages... Can you imagine Solus trying his fade dreaming under the Qun? Or Vivian doing her political bullshit? Both Sarah and Varric would mouth off until they ended up re-educated. Drugged until their minds broke. So, to answer your question, no, I don't think about it much at all.
Yeah, it doesn't blend well with the finer things in life.
The word Qunari, is that the race or the religion?
Both. Kind of. The humans and elves who follow the Qun are the Vidathari. The Qunari who break away from the Qun are Talvasha, deserters.
What about Qunari who existed before the Qun?
The people we came from. They're called the Kossith, but we don't use that word for the race. We came south to Thedas because the Kossith were... I don't know. We had to leave. The stories aren't clear. But I don't expect they look much like us. Whatever they are.
Nobody knows.
See ya.
There's perhaps something at the end of Dragon Age Veilguard that would kind of explain or touch on what that's about, but I guess we'll never know since the franchise is over now, what drove the Qunari south.
So how did you get the name Iron Bull?
I picked it. We don't have names under the Qun. Just, I don't know. Job descriptions, I guess.
Like Sten
When I came
means
to
soldier.
Orlais,
It wasn't his name, it was his role.
For myself.
But why specifically Iron Bull?
This may surprise you, but I really like hitting things. Also, it's the Iron Bull, technically. I like having an article at the front. It makes it sound like I'm not even a person, just a mindless weapon. An implement of destruction. That really works for me.
See you later, Bull.
I bet it does. Alright, now we can head back to the Storm Coast. I just wanted to yap to him a little bit. We gave everybody else some nice treatment, right? We took Blackwall the first time, so this time we'll take Cassandra. Actually, we will not, because there is Grey Warden artifacts here, I believe. That'd be better off just taking Blackwall. We can open the map when we get there and take a look. See what's what. Figure out where we're going next. Right, let's take us a peek. We got some Rift. Wardens of the Coast, Wardens of the Coast, Memories of the Grey, Wardens of the Coast, and Memories of the Grey. We have all kinds of stuff here, and then a whole gang of Red Lyrium down there. Okay, so first order of business, let's make our way around the shore.
Nothing to report, sir.
We'll wrap around the shoreline, clear all that out, and we'll make our way towards that rift. We'll seal that rift, and then we'll get the Wardens of the Grey and maybe the second camp. And hopefully we'll run into that mage that's wandering around here that gives us the key to the cabin. If not, then I'll just have to do that another time, but I want to at least get the Memories of the Grey done while Blackwall's in the party. You do still get the
Been a long time since I was at sea.
approval from him if he's not here when you turn him in back at Haven, but it's just nice for him to be here for it, I think. That looks like a blade of Hasarian. Are we friends now? Theoretically, you should have no problem with me, right? What up with you? What discipline achieves? We came first from the sea. The dreadnoughts took Parvalan at a stroke. We marched on the land called Saharan, then Ravane, and the Tevinter Imperium. Avidathari told us the Tevinter capital of Minrathus was unassailable. Though it did not fall, its walls were cracked with steel at Bakun fire. Tevinter saw what discipline achieves. The Bars called us conquerors when we brought them purpose. When we Tamasrans teach a child to read, or a wilderness is made fruitful, is that conquest? Without the certainty of the Qun, there can be no reason. The Bars raised 3 retaliations against our forces, pushing back in Antiba and Ravane. The Kabathari, still adapting to the Qun's rule, suffered worst. The very people the Bars sought to liberate, the land burned, while the Bars called us savages. Such madness and hypocrisy needed another answer. We signed the treaties of the Bars to silence them, and left. We will return. Patience is the manifestation of self-control. While the Bars bicker among themselves, we prepare. What is time compared to the demands of the Qun? The Masterin teaching notes, recovered and translated, and the Vidathari are the converts, not from the Qunari race. The Qun. Long ago, the Ashkari lived in a great city by the sea. Wealth and prosperity shone upon the city like sunlight, and still its people grumbled in discontent. The Ashkari walked the streets of his home and saw that all around him were the signs of genius, triumph of architecture, artistic masterpieces, the palaces of wealthy merchants, libraries, and concert halls. But he also saw signs of misery, the poor, sick, lost, frightened, and the hopeless. And the Ashkari asked himself, how can one people be both wise and ignorant, great and ruined, triumphant and despairing? So the Ashkari left the land of his birth, seeking out other cities and nations, looking for a people who had found wisdom enough to end hopelessness and despair. He wandered for many years through empires filled with palaces and gardens, but in every nation of the wise, the great, and the mighty, he found the forgotten, the abandoned, and the poor. Finally, he came to a vast desert, a wasteland of bare rock glowing at the empty sky, where he took shelter in the shadow of a towering rock, and resolved to meditate until he found his answer or perished. Many days passed, until one night, as he gazed out from the shadow of the rocks, he saw the lifeless desert awaken. 100,000 locusts hatched from the barren ground, and as one, they turned south, a single wave of moving earth. The Ashkari rose and followed in their wake. A path of devastation miles wide, the once verdant land turned to waste, and the Ashkari's eyes were opened. Existence is a choice. There is no chaos in the world, only complexity. Knowledge of the complex is wisdom. From wisdom of the world comes wisdom of the self. Mastery of the self is mastery of the world. Loss of the self is the source of suffering. Suffering is a choice, and we can refuse it. It is in our own power to create the world or destroy it. And the Ashkari went forth to his people. An excerpt from the Qun, Canto 1. And eventually, like the locusts, the Qunari went south, right? They came south to Thedas, so there's a lot of parallels there. And I just realized we're missing Vivian. That's awkward. Let's go back to camp and get her. Yeah, all that stuff. The last part of that I actually quite agree with. The whole suffering as a choice and mastery of the self. I agree wholeheartedly with that stuff. Where is my Oh, I do it at the flag here. Yeah, completely agree with the suffering as a choice and mastery of the self is the mastery of the world. You can see the sales pitch there, right? When you read about it, you can see why people who convert to the Qun do so willingly and happily. If you were the downtrodden and the poor and the needy, and somebody gave you that speech about self-mastery and discipline and order to the world and how you are suffering now because you are choosing to, and we can put that back into your control and make it stop. It's like ultimate accountability and responsibility, and there's something about the way that they worded in that is very appealing to me. I think would be very appealing to everybody, right? Like, when you guys read about self-mastery and all that stuff, do you not see the appeal like I do? I imagine you do. That is a very large dragon. Looks like he is fighting something. Are you fighting a giant? Well, that should be interesting. Can't save because I'm already technically in combat with them. I think if we let them scrap for a little, Black River. Let's not mess with the dragon. Let's mess with the giant. We'll get the giant out of the... well, maybe. Jump out of the way of the rock real quick. You, sir, should be able to give me good loot. XP. Guess his loot. What do we get from giants? Gold and 3 random loot rolls, it looks like. There's the rift we came for. Wherever that dragon went, flew that way, right? Where the giant dwarven statue is back there. Let's look. But we do want to go back for the Astrarium. After I get this rift, I'll double back and get up on the hill. And then we'll look for that Astrarium. What level are you? Explosive shot in there. That guy's dead. Spell. One. And the boss enemy Wraith and Shade right there. When I tried to disrupt that from where I was, it was too high. Maybe I could do it from up here. Try and get cheeky here. Out first, hopefully. We've managed this encounter decently well with the increased difficulty. As hard as it gets, really, with the trials I put on. successful encounter. And Blackwall did decently well. Golden aggro. We do have a level up for him actually. Let's take care of that real quick. Blackwall. What are we doing with you, sir? Warrior's Resolve. Stamina stored for every health lost. That'll just help you spam taunt. What do we have in here for you? Might just make it so he can just cast challenge as much as he wants. Let him just spam it on his preferred ability bar. Go and taunts on cooldown.
Do you even bother to explore the Fade in your dreams?
I prefer to explore the world I actually live in.
A pity. You could be much more powerful if you ventured outside your narrow preconceptions.
Ah, the temptation to leave the path. You sound like a pride demon.
Enchanter. Any pride demon you met would just walk away, shaking its head and laughing uncontrollably.
Oh, darling, more than one already has.
She's not wrong. That is the stray from the path argument, right? Abandon your defenses and all the things you believe. Trust me. You don't need it. You can just do whatever you like. I think we just bring it down here and we can cut across the middle, right? There we go. One is way over there, which I think is, I'm pretty sure is where the dragon fled to, so that'll be a minute away. I wonder if I got into combat around here, if he would help me. I wonder if they're programmed like that. This cabin right here we do need to hit real quick, so I'm going to try and climb up there before we go to the Grey Warden marker. We're right next to it. Because I don't think you can get that mage to spawn in until you interact with the cabin. And then him spawning in and you killing him is how you get the key for it. Yeah, Apostate landed. So let's run up and interact with the cabin. And then I think we can get him to spawn. He just spawns randomly on the hillsides in this place. He can be an absolute bitch to spawn sometimes. It can take a while, which is why I'll probably look for him in between episodes, and then when I find him, then I'll start the recording. Because he can be a little problematic.
Let's not linger here too long.
Getting a funny feeling here. Or do you know the mage who lives here? Avvalon, the occupied north. In the 30th year of the Steel Age, the first Qunari ships were sighted off the coast of Parvalon in the far north, marking the beginning of a new age of warfare. History calls this the First Qunari War, but it was mostly a one-sided bloodbath, with the Qunari advancing far into the mainland. Qunari warriors in glittering steel armor carved through armies with ease. Their cannons, the likes of which our ancestors had never seen, reduced city walls to rubble in a matter of seconds. Stories of Qunari occupation vary greatly. It is said they dismantled families and sent captives to learning camps for indoctrination into their religion. Those who refused to cooperate disappeared to mines or construction camps. For every tale of suffering, however, there is another of enlightenment deriving from something called the Qun. This is either a philosophical code or a written text that governs all aspects of Qunari life. Perhaps both. One converted Saharan reported pity for those who refused to embrace the Qun, as if the conquerors had led him to a sort of self-discovery. For all my life, I followed the Maker wherever his path led me, he wrote. But in the Qun, I have found the means to travel my own. It has been said that the most complete way to wipe out a people is not with blades, but with books. Thankfully, a world that had repelled 4 blights would not easily bow to a foreign aggressor, and so the exalted marches began. The greatest advantage of the Chantry-led forces was the Circle of Magi. For all their technology, the Qunari appeared to harbor great hatred for magic. Faced with cannons, the Chantry responded with lightning and balls of fire. The Qunari armies lacked the sheer numbers of humanity. Though many were slain at Marnus Pel, on both sides, the Vale is said to be permanently sundered, the ruins still plagued by restless corpses. But each year, the Chantry pushed further and further into the Qunari lines, although local converts to the Qun proved difficult to return to Andraste's teachings. By the end of the Storm Age, the Qunari were truly pushed back. Ravane was the only human land that retained the Qunari religion after being freed, and its rulers attempted to barter a peace. Most human lands signed the Lemurian Accord, except that of Inter-Imperium. It is a shaky peace that has lasted to this day. We read in the other codex earlier that the Masterin teachings about that accord is we did it just to shut them up, but we'll be back, and we didn't really mean it. Yeah, that's the door that's locked. We can't further explore that until we find Mr. Mage that has it locked up. Which, if we're lucky, while we're getting these Warden memories and tracks of the Grey, we'll run into him just on a hillside somewhere. We can put a couple arrows in him, but I suspect we won't be that lucky. Something tells me I'll have to run around on my own time and find that guy. Imagine this is a Warden camp, right? A Grey Warden's Journal. I grow more convinced that if he was ever here, he is now long gone. Still, it would not do for us to miss him through laziness. He was one of our most skilled warriors. If anyone could hide himself here, it would be he. One of the fishermen shows promise with a spear and has shoulders like an ox from throwing nets all day. He asked about joining the Grey Wardens. Under other circumstances, I would be honored to take a worthy and willing volunteer. Now, my orders did not say whether I should seek new recruits, even with our circumstances, or because of them, I suppose. It did not hurt his cause that he was easy to look at, and clearly wished to know more about the Dalish. The Darkspawn are louder than I thought at first. A constant whisper at the back of my mind makes it difficult to sense them as easily as I usually do. They are near the surface. Perhaps bandits are not the worst these people have to face. And pages torn loose from a journal found on the Storm Coast.
The Wardens were here at some point.
This camp was abandoned some time ago.
More Grey Warden
I think
treaties.
The Inquisition could benefit from this.
I would highly agree. Dalish Warden too. And I would presume from reading that that would be a Dalish female Grey Warden. Talking about shoulders like an ox and being easy to look at, I would imagine that is a female Grey Warden who was here recruiting. Can I step over this? Oh, it's heaven. Get cheesed. Are you the mage? No, you are a big bad with the new trial on. Yeah, look at itself. Let's him. So my companions can actually do some kind of damage against them. Yeah, welcome to the shit show on the bat row. Gonna keep repeating the thunder. Cycle my attacks over and over and hope for the best on this. Gonna take a second to chop him down. I do cycle that without needing to. I can cycle. I don't know if you're paying attention to the damage numbers here, but this thing has like 50,000 health. This might be the death of him. There we go. And of course we don't get bonus loot from them. We don't get better drops from them, they're just harder to kill for no reason. I was curious if that would shatter him. It didn't. And while we're here, let's rip the Astrarian. Oh boy, this one looks fun, doesn't it? presumably we go down. Exactly that. That. Go back up. We cut left. Go up. Okay, and then go here. That one was a tough one. Giant step up in complexity from the last one we did, I can tell you that much. Now I have no idea if any of these red dots are the mage that I'm looking for, so... That is the mage that I'm looking for. Real quick solace. God, I hate the tactics menu. I'm impressed we actually found this guy. Very conveniently. I guess the Blades of Caesarion do help you in combat, because they are ganking the hell out of him with me right now. Which I will gladly take. He spelled for me, which is beautiful. At this point I'm just trying to mag them damage into him. Spam his BS abilities. There's our glowing key. We can get
You've seen many
his
things
cabin
in the
now.
Fade. How do you know they're true?
I don't. Everything in the Fade is a memory. And memories are all too easily muddied. Just like your history books.
Okay. That's where the glowing key is.
They contain truth, but reason and sense are required to extract it.
And this thing actually came about right next to his house, huh? He was just exploring the hills. I guess my boys caught him on his way home. This is on this side, right? Let's see what the point of this was. What goodies do we get for this? Notes found in a mage's hut. An excerpt from a manifesto on mage rights. The pages worn and creased, as though read many times. Andraste suffered at the hands of magisters. Thus, she feared the influence of magic. But if the Maker blamed magic for the Magister's actions in the Black City, why would he still gift us with it? The oppression of mages stems from the fears of men, not the will of the Maker. Fears of men. If they stay away, there will be no fear. This place is remote enough. Strange to hear no one talking in the other room, to feel no eyes watching me. I miss it sometimes. If that was not the will of the Maker, then perhaps this is. If they stay away, they'll have nothing to fear is the exact kind of logic that has the circles exist in the first place. And that's also the same logic that made the mages vote on freedom. Oh, sorry, vote on the towers in the first place, right? They established them, and you can already kind of see what he's been up to. And if you look at the gear that I used to wear, or the gear that Blackwall is currently wearing, and then you look at this armor right here, this is clearly a Grey Warden. So, one of the Grey Wardens that we're here looking for, this mage killed. That's Warden armor. Recognize it anywhere. And there's some old Legion nobles here too. You can see the Griffin crest right here if you look hard in the light. So he killed a Warden. The rebel mage right there killed a Grey Warden. On top of all the civilians buried in his basement. That's what mage freedom looks like. I guess they didn't stay away, so they had something to fear. And you know that he didn't kill them to stop going back to the circle, because A, the Wardens don't do that, and B, the civilians that were dead down there literally can't do that, and would have probably been terrified of him from the get-go. And we are a long way away from the Civil War right now. This is not in proximity to that, so he just did it because he wanted to. Probably some kind of ritual down there with the altar. He wanted a bigger piece of the pie. Spirit or a demon probably visited him in his sleep, offered him some fucking go-go juice as a power-up. And he said, say less. Who do I gotta kill and where? And the Warden would have been absolutely zero threat to him, because Wardens don't get involved in things like that. They can't afford to, because they need help for the Blight. Whenever that happens, they can't afford to piss anybody off. He is not here. We have searched thoroughly. We will now move on. How many days have I wasted here, with whispers lurking at the back of my mind, on this mad assignment? I pray we have more luck as we head south. After speaking with the other Wardens, I told the fishermen about the darkspawn we sensed beneath the earth. They may not burst forth from the ground today or tomorrow, but I fear it will not be long. We will not be here when they finally surface. The fishermen were grieved at the news, but they decided to make for West Hill, which is safe for now. As for the fisherman who was interested in joining, I convinced him that now was not the time. Others might have told him otherwise, but he is too young to make such a sacrifice, simply because he does not wish to throw nets into the water all his life. We shared one last night by the campfire. He went on his way with a smile, humming the song of Andruel as he left.
Looks like several Wardens were traveling together.
And it looks like the Elven Warden gave him a piece of the pie and told him not today. What does Morrigan say in Dragon Age Origins? There are tales about Warden vigor. I imagine that's a lot to do with the smile on his face at the end of that night by the campfire. We'll grab this campsite and then we'll wrap up. We might be able to wrap the Storm Coast next episode. Looking at the progress we just made.
Decent place to camp.
I might go ahead and take some little bites out of it in between. Because there's some stuff here. I mean, the Wardens of the Coast I'm obviously going to keep in, but there's some stuff here like the Rift at the Falls and all this big blank area right here that y'all don't need to watch me run through the shrubberies there, so I'll probably take a couple bites out of it in the in-between, and I'll pick up with you for this stuff and then this stuff. But alright, that's where I'm going to wrap it on up then. Thank you for watching. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment on your way out, and I will see you soon with more Dragon Age Inquisition. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Peace.